right, everyone, we're going to get started with the training portion of 7K Metals here in Kalispell, Montana. And the first thing we're going to talk about is one of the most important things that you have to master in this arena of network marketing, and that is the mindset. Now, here's what I want you guys to understand. Being a student of the industry for the last 13 years, I've studied some of the individuals that have earned 6, 7, and even 8-figure a year income. And one of the things I found to be true, I mean, and everyone that I've ever had the time and pleasure to spend time with, they all have what I call the 3 legs of a stool. And I'm going to share with you what that is today. Now, here's the thing. 95% of people that make it, and when I say make it in network marketing, they make full-time, 6-figure, 7, and even 8-figure year income. 95% of those people that do so, they don't do so in their first opportunity. All right? So if this is not your first rodeo, you're in the right place, and it is the right time. But those individuals that do make it, they all have what I call the 3 legs of a stool. And I want you to write this down. I need you to get this today. The first leg of a stool, they have the right mindset. And the beautiful thing about network marketing, if you don't come in with it, it can be learned. They understand it is a marathon. It's not a sprint. They understand attrition is a part of the game. They understand that everybody that was in the freshman class won't be in the sophomore class. Everybody that was in the sophomore class won't be in the junior class. And everybody that was in the junior class definitely will not graduate. They understand that that's a part of the game. That's the nature of the beast. And you cannot be caught up in that and let that stop you from having success. So it's the mindset part of it. That's why I encourage you to read the books, listen to the tapes, the CDs, the audibles. I mean, because again, you have to train the brain if you're going to be successful in this arena of network marketing. See, every last one of us, when we come in with a certain amount of success in our chosen field of endeavor. And you got to understand, just like your success and whatever your chosen field of endeavor did not happen overnight, this process will not happen overnight. And another thing I want you guys to get today, we've all seen people. I've had people come on my team. You've had people come on your team that come on board and look like they just blow it out of the water right off the bat. And you would say, man, you know, they were an overnight success. But in reality, there is no such thing as an overnight success. What happens is this, and I want you to write this down today. When you get involved in network marketing in your first company or really get involved in the industry, you will either be rewarded or punished based on the kind of person you were before you got started in network marketing. You wonder why some people come in and blow it up? Because they have 20, 30 years of actually doing the right thing. They had the right relationships. They had the right credibility. And as a result, they could just make a phone call and people got in just because they knew it was them. So you wonder why some people come in and right off the bat, they blow it out of the water? Because you will be rewarded or punished based on the kind of person you were before you got started in network marketing. So for those of you that first come on board right now, if this is your first reward though, and you're starting to have success, hey, it just lets you know you were the right kind of person. You had the character, you had the integrity. Now, I remember my first company, when I got involved in 2000, I just came in and I was coachable. I believe when I saw the people that were having success, and I know many of you did the very same thing when y'all came in 7K Metals, and you saw the people that were having success, I looked at those individuals and I said, between them and me, the only difference was just time. You know, I believe that if another person could do it, I could do it. And when I looked at those individuals that had success, they said, listen, you need to be coachable, you're teachable, you get your mentor, and you do what they say, and that will expedite your success. So what I did, they said, listen, you know, make out a list. I had a couple of hundred folks on my list, and they said, invite double-digit people over to your house, and we're going to come over and do a presentation. I made out the list. I invited 25 people to my house. 14 people showed up. 11 of them got started in my first company. And it was $500 to get started in that company. All I did was just duplicate what they told me to do, and I was coachable and teachable. Some of you are not having success right now because you are not coachable. You're not teachable. And again, it's not about what works, it's about what duplicates. And one of the first lessons I learned in network marketing, your team is not going to do what you say, they're going to do what you do. All right? So the first leg of the stool you and I both have to have is the right mindset. And again, if you don't come in with it, it can be learned. How many have heard the sayings, readers are leaders? We've all heard that saying, Reed. But one of my mentors, Dr. Dennis Kimbrough, who wrote the book, What Makes the Great Great, he took it one step further. He said that either read or learn to fail gracefully. Okay? So the right mindset is one leg of the stool that you have to have. The second part of the stool that you have to have is the right skill set. And again, you've got to understand. And if you don't have it coming in, it can be learned. None of us, when we were little kids, when they asked us when we were 5 and 6 years old, said, what you want to be when you grow up? I can promise you, 100% of us in this room did not say, I want to be a professional network marketer. I can promise you, that ain't what you said. Okay? All right? Now, that being said, network marketing is designed for everyday people to have success. So the right skill set, again, if you don't have it, it can be learned. That's why I encourage you. One of the books, if you don't have, you need to get this particular book because it really deals with skill set, and it's called Go Pro by Eric Worre. Now, Eric Worre, this is the #1 best-selling book of all time in network marketing. It's sold close to 2 million copies since 2012. Now, in that book, Eric Worre made almost $15 million in his 25-year career, and he talks about going pro. Now, why is going pro so important? Now, all of us won't become professional network marketers, but if you just get better at what you're doing, you can definitely have success. There's a copy of that book right there. Mr. Hagel has it in his hand. All right. Now, why is it important for you to go pro if you want to earn the 6, 7, and even 8-figure year income? Tiger Woods played the same amount of tournaments in 1995 that he did in 1996. But in 1996, he made $18 million. The only difference from one year to the next, he decided to go pro. All right? Professionals get paid. Amateurs do it for fun. All right? Now, raise your hand if you want to get paid. All right? All you got to do is go pro. Now, he talks about in that book 7 skill sets. It's not 70. It's not 700. But 7 skill sets. If you get good at them, you'll make full-time income in network marketing. If you start mastering a couple of them, now you're talking about 6, 7, and even 8-figure year income. It's not 70. It's not 700. 7 skill sets. All right? And when it comes to mindset, another book I'm going to encourage you to get, if you don't already have it, and we gave out a lot of them in Dallas early part of this year, is a book called The Dream Giver by Bruce Wilkinson. And for those who may not know, Bruce Wilkinson, he wrote the book, The Prayer of Jabez. That was his most famous book. But The Dream Giver is written in parable form, and it talks about a character that we can all relate to. The name of the character that's the star of that book is called Ordinary. He said, meet Ordinary, a nobody, who lived in the land of familiar. But he had enough courage to leave the land of familiar to go out to pursue his big dreams. Now, Ordinary went to the same job that everybody in a familiar went to. He came home and watched the same box that everybody in familiar came home and watched. But one day he got a dream from the dream giver. All right? And he decided to have enough courage and intestinal fortitude to go after his goals and dreams. Now, what happened, and here's what I want you, one of the major reasons why I believe network marketing above any other type of industry is really an American dream, because where else can you go without a college education, without being born on the right side of the track, without having finished high school, no degree, and plug into a system and learn some skill sets and live the lifestyle that most people dream about. That's what network marketing, because one of the saddest things that happens, and that's why I encourage you to get the book, The Dream Giver. One of the saddest things that happens to most people that go into corporate America, and I can say it because it happened to me, is that they stop dreaming. Every time I do a presentation, I'll ask people, raise your hand if you're doing right now what you dreamed you'd be doing when you was 5 or 10 years old. Very seldom do I have people raise their hand. Because what happens in corporate America, people stop dreaming and they start settling. One of the reasons why I love network marketing, and especially 7K metals, because not only are people starting to dream again, many of those people starting to see their dreams become reality. And that's the beautiful thing about it. Network marketing is a vehicle. 7K metals is a vehicle that if you do it right, it can allow you to help your dreams become reality. Because in that book, Ordinary, all of a sudden, he got outside his comfort zone. And many of you are going to be wondering, where in the world has $5,000 a month been hiding from me? I can tell you. I'm going to give you the answer today. It's right outside your comfort zone. Some of you wonder, where in the world has $10,000 a month been hiding from me all my life? I got the answer. is just outside your comfort zone. So the first thing Ordinary had to do, he had to get outside his comfort zone. He found him a mentor. And that's what I encourage you to do. Find you a mentor. And I'll explain the difference between an advisor and a mentor. He found him a mentor. His mentor was called Somebody, and Somebody became a champion, and he mentored Ordinary to go from being a nobody to becoming a somebody, and eventually he became a champion. One of the things that Ordinary found throughout that journey is that life is not going to roll over and play dead and just let you make it. Anybody that ever made it, they have some war stories. I can promise you. I mean, I would love to tell you that everybody I invited out showed up. The truth of the matter is, I had a whole lot of folks over the years, hundreds, if not thousands of people, I invited out, told me they were coming, and did not show up. But what do? Here's what I want to tell you today. If you're in network marketing, if you want to be successful, every time you're faced with a challenge, you got one or two choices. Either give up or get better. Choose. Give up or get better. So Ordinary became a champion. It talks about that mindset part on that journey to achieving your goals and dreams. So number one, if you want to be successful in network marketing, you got to have the right mindset. Number two, you got to have the right skill set. And again, if you don't have it, it can be learned. That's the reason why we come. We're doing the coaching because we want to show you, put you on the right path to developing the skill set. Why do I need skill sets in network marketing? Jim Rohn put it like this. He said, skills make labor more valuable. When you have skills, you and I can do the same job, and one of us will make a lot more only because one has a greater skill set. See, me and Albert Pujols, we both play baseball. They pay him $20 million a year to hit a baseball because he has a greater skill set. Does it make sense to everybody? That's what you got to learn in network marketing. So you got to have the right mindset, got to have the right skill set, and the third thing that every last one of us, if you're a part of 7K Mellows, you already have, and that's the right opportunity at the right time. Those are the three things everybody I've ever had the pleasure of spending time with and studying in the network marketing arena, they have those three things in common. They have the right skill set, have the right mindset, and they have the right opportunity at the right time. That's what we have. I know you guys hear me say it a lot, but I say it a lot to paint the vision because it will come true. 7K Mellows in the next 2 years will be a household name. And when it become a household name, my question to each and every one of you that are here today, how much of that income is going to flow in your mailbox? If you're here right now, you're ahead of the game. You're ahead of the curve. And what happens when a company like ours blow up and go through a real momentum phase, what happens, folks become wealthy in a very short period of time. When momentum happens, so that's why I encourage you, and that's why we do events and train on building momentum in business. Because as John Maxwell said in the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, he talks about the law of the big mo. And he said momentum is definitely a leader's best friend. Because when you have momentum, it blows it away. See, when momentum happens, it makes leaders look better than they actually are. When momentum happens, see, when you have just addition in your business, 1 + 1 = 2. When you have momentum, 1 + 1 = 11. When you have addition, 1 + 1 + 1 = 3. When you have momentum, 1 + 1 + 1 = 111. I'm talking about building the business so that all of a sudden you're looking at your report, instead of having just 5 people coming in a week, then it goes to 5 people a day. And then all of a sudden you got 20 people a day coming in your business. That's what momentum looks like. Then all of a sudden 100 people a day are coming in your business, and because you're a silver, because you're a gold, all of a sudden every Saturday night at midnight it becomes a beautiful thing. Everybody understand that? Yeah. But you got to put in the work first. This is network marketing, not net wish marketing. And the only time success comes before work is in the dictionary. See, sacrifice and struggle will come before success, and that's even in the dictionary. I don't want to sugarcoat it. We're going to take the gloves off today. We're going to tell you exactly why some of you are having success and why some of you are not having success. And if you don't make some changes, you're going to continue to hit your head up against the wall. See, one of the definitions of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. How many know there's a lot of people that do their business like that? You invite folks the same way and nobody's showing up, you might want to look at what you're doing. You might want to look at what you're saying. Now, let's talk about the mindset. Now, here's the encouraging thing about the mindset, about the part of network marketing. Many of you are pretty close. Many of you are pretty close to having that breakthrough moment in your business and taking it to the next level. Matter of fact, you're about 2 millimeters. There's a difference between where you are right now to where you need to go. Why do I say 2 millimeters? Tony Robbins, the #1 success coach in the world. One of his clients, I mean, he has clients that pay him $2, $3, $5, $10 million a year for him to coach them to become the best person they can be. And one of his clients was the #1 plastic surgeon in the world. I mean, there was Saudis, there were all kind of sheiks that would pay this guy millions of dollars, fly him over there to fix people's face to make them beautiful or gorgeous or handsome. All right? So Tony Robbins went to his shop one day, and he began to look at all the pictures of all these people, the before and afters. How they would just toe up from the floor up in the beginning. And then all of a sudden, he did the surgery, and then all of a sudden, they became beautiful and gorgeous. And he asked me, he said, man, what's the difference? And he said, listen, there's only 2 millimeters difference from being gorgeous, handsome, and having an average face. He said, listen, if the distance from the top of your nose to the top of your lip is a certain distance, then you have a beautiful, a gorgeous, or a handsome face. He said if it's 1 millimeter off, you have an average face. But he said if it's 2 millimeters off, you are what they call butt ugly. Okay. Okay. So the beautiful thing about it, 2 millimeters make all the difference in the world. And many of y'all are pretty close. Pretty close.
To 2 millimeters?
2 millimeters. To being beautiful.
To work out.
To being beautiful and gorgeous. Beauty's in the eyes of the beholder. Now let's talk about the mindset part of it, okay? You got to understand it is a journey. It is a marathon. It's not a sprint. And when it comes to the mindset part of it, we all have to go through the same process in order to be successful. There are 4 phases we all have to go through if you're going to be ultra successful in this arena of network marketing and in life as a whole. Now, the first phase we all have to go through is what they call unconsciously incompetent. You don't know what you don't know. All right? In network marketing, they call that ignorance on fire. How many of you heard the term before?
Say it again.
In network marketing, they call it ignorance on fire. Okay? Because when you're ignorance on fire, the old saying is true. If you set yourself on fire, the world will come and watch you burn. Okay? Now, we all start out here. When we first go on, we are unconsciously incompetent. We don't know what we don't know. All right? Now, there are people that make money at this phase because they have enough excitement and enthusiasm. I mean, I'm talking about the Richard Wayne Hansons of the world. I think he never left. But he had that excitement and enthusiasm, and you want to keep that, okay? But at this phase, I mean, you don't know what you don't know. And there are people that will get involved because you are excited, because they see you have a lot more energy. They see you have a lot more passion, and they've never seen you like that. And you can make some money at this phase of the game. But you don't want to stay there. You want to graduate to the 4th stage that we're going to talk about. See, your parents, they're real happy. You graduate kindergarten, you go to 1st grade, they're happy. You know how to color now, okay? So they're real happy with that. But your parents will not be happy if 7 years later, you're 12 years old, and you're still in the 1st grade. And all of a sudden, you can't fit in the desk no more, okay? So excitement and enthusiasm, that's great, but sooner or later, you're going to need to marry that with some skills. Does that make sense to everybody? But that's where we all start out of it. When you first come involved in network marketing, I didn't know anything about it. I mean, I was like a lot of other uninformed people. I was saying the word pyramid, didn't even know what was going on. And I'll talk about that today, you know. Because here's what I wanted to tell you about pyramid before we deal with it later. Most people that use the word pyramid, they wouldn't know one if they were standing in Egypt, okay? Okay, let's just be honest with you. All right? There's two types, legal and illegal. And you can put this down for your knowledge because you're gonna face it. Every now and then you're gonna have somebody come up and they're gonna call you the P word, okay? They're gonna do that, okay? Pyramid, all right? Now, there's two types. There's legal and illegal. So you need to be prepared. An illegal pyramid is when money is exchanged, no goods or services are rendered to the end user. That constitutes an illegal pyramid. Government will shut you down, no way to track it. And there are a lot of companies that pop up like that. Sooner or later, the government's going to shut them down. A legal pyramid is when money is exchanged, but no goods or services are rendered to the but goods or services are rendered to the end user. That constitutes a legal pyramid in network marketing and in business as a whole. Same thing in corporate America. So for people that have an issue with pyramid and they work in corporate America, I tell them, you know what, you need to probably quit your job tomorrow because you're working for an illegal pyramid. They said, what do you mean, man? I said, at the top of your job, is there a CEO? Yes or no? They say yes. Below that, are there some board of directors? Yes. Upper level manager, lower level manager, and then all us down here to do all the work. Draw it out, what it look like. Pyramid. I said, and will you ever make CEO money? They said, no. I said, well, that ought to be illegal right there. You understand that? So again, become a student of your craft because certain things are going to come. You're going to get some of the same objections every single time. And and you can ill afford to have a deer in the headlight look all the time. When people come up, is that a pyramid? Oh, absolutely. I mean, come on, just be ready for it because it's going to come. All right? So the first phase we all have to go through is unconsciously incompetent. You don't know what you don't know. Phase number 2 is consciously incompetent. You know you don't know what you're doing. All right? Unfortunately, this is why many people quit in their market. Because now they try to, get too sophisticated with their business. They start trying to keep it simple. And they start getting a lot of no's. Because they start saying the wrong thing. They throwing up on everybody. They got all this knowledge and stuff, But again, that's a phase we all got to go through. You don't know what you're doing. That's why I encourage you. Keep reading the books. Keep reading the tapes. Do you, but become a better you. All right? Working on yourself. Work on your skill set. Work on your mindset. The people that have success, they're the ones that consistently, they're plugging in. If you want to know a success secret in network marketing, you stay plugged in. You want to know the people that are making all this money? They're plugged in. They're on the calls. They're showing up at the events. Because one of the first laws of leadership is to show up. If you show up, my mentor told me you'll beat 80% of the competition. If you show up on time, you'll beat 85% of the competition. If you show up on time with a plan, you'll beat 90% of the competition. And if you show up on time with a plan and intestinal fortitude to follow it out, you'll beat 95% of the competition. One of the first things leaders do is leaders show up. And leaders lead by example. If you want to know who to take advice from in network marketing, look at the leaderboard. If people say they're leaders and they're not on the leaderboard, you might want to find another mentor. That makes sense to everybody. Yeah. All right? We're going to take the gloves off today. All right? Now here's the thing. In your lifetime, in network marketing, you're going to have two types of people that's always going to try to give you advice. You're going to have what I call advisors, and you're going to have mentors. Okay? Advisors are people that want to tell you how to go across town, and they can't drive the car. Okay? That's an advisor. People want to tell you how to become a bronze in the business, and they still hadn't got their first two. They want to show you how to become a silver, and they hadn't brought on nobody into the business. But they are what I call used to be's. They've been in other companies, and I used to do this, and I did that. Here's what my grandma used to say about used to be's. She said, used to be's don't make no honey. I can't rest on my laurels because what I did in another company had nothing to do with this company here. They don't give you credit because you've been in network marketing 10 years. They don't give you credit because you've been in that 30 years. Everybody understand that? All right, so again, Advisors are people that want to tell you what to do, but they don't have a track record in this company. They're always talking about what they used to do. A mentor, write this down. Mentorship is wisdom without waiting. A mentor is somebody who has accomplished what you want to accomplish and are accomplishing what you want to accomplish, but more importantly, they're willing to spend time, money, and effort and sow into you to help you do the very same thing. That's what a mentor is. And here's the beauty of network marketing. If it's not the person that sponsors you, you can always keep going upline. And I can promise you, there are some people upline. There are some more Coleen Lees. There are some more Dhana Nelsons. There are some more leaders, Mr. Pete Barton, that are willing, that although they didn't personally sponsor you, they'll work with you, help you have success. Everybody understand that? There's a difference. See, one of the reasons why most people don't make money in network marketing, because they're listening to the wrong people. Let me say that again. I don't think y'all heard it. One of the major reasons why people don't make money in network marketing because you're listening to the wrong people. All right? Bottom line. Sooner or later in network marketing, you have to develop what I call a bumblebee mentality. Now, what's a bumblebee mentality? According to the experts, the bumblebee is not supposed to fly. Aerodynamically, the body is too big, the wings are too small. But because the bumblebee don't listen to none of that stuff, he flies around from flower to flower and make honey every day. See, I made up my mind a long time ago in network marketing. When I listened to one of my mentors, I'm not going to learn how to grow hair from somebody that's bald. I'm not going to learn how to lose weight from somebody that's obese, and I'm not going to learn how to make money from somebody that's broke. Does that make sense to everybody? You gotta be careful. You gotta guard who you're listening to. One of the reasons why Coleen Lee is having so much success because she has a mentor. She developed several mentors in network marketing. She has the dying engraver. She's constantly talking to one of the co-founders that's personally mentoring her in order to have success. And she's not just listening, she's doing what she's heard. See, just having a mentor don't mean nothing if you're not gonna do it. Everybody understand that? I get a lot of times, I have people, and we're mentoring people that are on our team and not even on our team. So I have a lot of people saying, I want to mentor and stuff, but if you're not going to do it with us, let's not waste one another's time. Does that make sense to everybody? If you're not going to do it, don't waste their time. All right? But if you're willing to do it, that will expedite your success. So the first phase is unconsciously incompetent. Second phase is consciously incompetent. And then the third phase, and many of you are right here right now, you're consciously competent. This is when you start making an extra $500 a month. You start making an extra $500 a week because you did stay plugged in. You did stay the course. And you did start sacrificing and putting in the time and effort. See, nothing great was ever achieved in life without sacrifice. And I'm going to let you know something. So a lot of y'all want success, but you want it to be convenient. No success will ever come because it's convenient. That means you got to make some sacrifices. Coleen and her husband, they didn't have to come up here. How many miles is that from?
8 hours.
Okay, 8 hours one way, right? All right. Let's make a sacrifice. They could be in other places. Everybody understand that? But you got to be willing, as my mentor Les Brown said, you have to be willing to do the things today that others won't do in order to have the things tomorrow that others won't have. That's what it's all about. Anybody that ever made it, they had to make sacrifices. They had to spend time away from family. They had to spend time, when they were tired and they didn't feel like doing it, they had to continue doing it because they made sacrifices in order to be successful. All right? So the third phase is consciously competent because you did stay plugged in, because you did keep on going to the meeting. Even when you didn't see the kind of results that you wanted to see, now you're starting to reap the success. First convention I ever went to, my first network marketing company back in 2001, the speaker on the stage was Les Brown, one of the greatest motivational speakers ever. And he said something back then that didn't make a lot of sense back then. It made a whole lot more sense today. And it's true for you today. So you got to begin with the end in mind. He said in the beginning and network marketing, you're going to do a whole lot of stuff you're not necessarily going to see the pay for. Okay? But he said if you stay in the game, in the end, you're going to get paid for a whole lot of stuff you didn't necessarily do. Everybody understand that? See, in the beginning, there's going to be a lot of times. Not only you, me, we all feel like sometimes you're spinning your wheel. You go in the meeting, you're doing presentations and stuff, and look like they just can't get it. You wish you can just crack their head over and just put it in there. You know, I mean, you guys understand that. I mean, we all go through the frustrations and stuff. You got to handle objections and stuff, and you got to be professional. And there's times even prospects and stuff, they say some of the dumbest things in the world, and you can't say anything about it. I mean, that times people ask questions, and in my mind, I would say, you know what, that's the dumbest thing I ever heard in my life. But you can't say nothing. Everybody understand that. But you got to keep on going through the process. All right? Les Brown put it like this. He said the yeses will build your business. The no's will build you. Okay? You're going to get it. Everybody ain't going to say yes. All right? But you got to stay the course. So you go from unconsciously incompetent, consciously incompetent, consciously competent, and the last phase, if you want to make full-time income, if you want to make 6-figure, 7-figure, and even 8-figure your income, because it's being made in this arena, you want to get to the point where you're unconsciously competent. That's when they said, you know what, I can do this in my sleep. They can wake you up at 2 o'clock in the morning, you shake the dust off, and you can do a presentation just like that. You can do it, I mean, because, again, it becomes a part of you. You know, it's a part of the journey. I mean, you've engulfed it. I mean, you're not in 7K medals. 7K medals is in you. Does that make sense to everybody? You get to that point that everybody knows that you're in this business. You're serious about what you're doing. But it is a process that you have to go through. I want you guys to understand. I want you to get that. You know, but you got to understand, if you're going to fail, if you're going to succeed, it's going to be on you. Another thing, and we're going to talk about it right now. You know, so many of you are not having the kind of success you want to have because you're too busy playing the blame game. Okay? Ooh, we got a little quiet, okay? What I mean by the blame game? Sooner or later, you got to get to the point. You got to stop blaming your upline. You got to stop blaming your sideline. You got to stop blaming whoever's in line on you not having success. At the end of the day, if it is to be, it's up to me. I mean, my first company, I had a horrible upline. But that didn't stop me from being successful. Because I know when I signed on the dotted line, I didn't sign on because of him. I signed up to take care of my goals and dreams. Does that make sense to everybody? So again, that's part of the process. I would love to say everybody that brings you on board and your upline and everybody, you know, they just focus it on. That is not the case. That's not the case here. That's not the case of any network marketing company. You're going to have folks that's going to try to be roadblocks in your success, but you got to stay laser focused on getting the job done. And the acronym for focus in network marketing stands for following one's course until successful. That's what focus is all about. I'm not letting anybody break me off track. I'm not letting anybody detour me because I'm laser focused on getting this thing done. When you're focused, you set goals, and you're not just a goal setter, you're a goal getter. You make it happen. And a goal is simply a dream with a deadline. That's all it is. It's a dream with a deadline. But when you're focused, I'm not detoured. What they say, yes or no, it doesn't matter. When you're focused, you develop that posture that when I'm prospecting, whether it's a family member, friend, or a complete stranger, they know one thing about me, is that this train is going to go to the station whether you get on board or not. I would love for you to be a passenger. We can have a lot of fun together. But you have to develop the mentality. Because here's what I want you to understand. Some of you not having success in your business is because of how you're presenting your business. you're coming across, you like you begging folks to take a look at what you have. Now, every last one of you in this room, and I covered this many times yesterday in the coaching, every last one of you in this room would think there was something mentally wrong with me. If you saw me downtown Kalispell and I'm begging folk to take this, they say, he crazy. There's something wrong with him. Well, FYI, that's how some of you are treating your business. Sooner or later along this journey, you have to come to the conclusion that you have the gold brick. Okay? Once you understand that you have the gold brick, whether they sign up or not, you're going to have success. Then your presentation will come across a whole lot more different. I'm not talking from a standpoint of arrogance. I'm talking about confidence, because you know where you're going. You know what you have your hands in. See, some of you don't realize what you have your hands on. What we have our hands on is one of the first times in history of a win-win-win scenario. That's why I don't hesitate talking to mama, dad, and nobody about this business. Because we have our hands upon a win-win-win scenario, and that's very rare in network marketing. It's very rare. See, most network marketing companies, there's a win-win-lose, there's a win-lose-lose. Very seldom will you ever come across a network marketing opportunity where everybody wins in this equation. Now, what do I mean by that? Let's just say you get a membership, you're trying to build a business, but you hadn't made a check yet. But you're buying gold and silver. You're buying coins every single month. At the end of a year, at the end of 2 years, you have several $1,000s worth of assets to show you have a legitimate business. You won. Everybody understand? You can't say that about any health and wellness company, and there's some great ones out there. But because I study the industry, here's the mentality. They don't tell you right out that. If you're in a health and wellness company, here's the mentality. They tell you to buy a lot and watch it rot. They want you to be garage qualified. That makes sense to everybody. And here's the difference with what we have. Let's just say you're in a health and wellness company. You're buying product every single month, and you're not making a check. At the end of a year, at the end of 2 years, you got something you can't give away. Some of that stuff can turn green. Does that make sense to everybody? All right? But if there ever was a company that you want to have the problem, that you garage qualified, is this one right here.
Yes.
How many, I would love to say, listen, baby, we can't bring the Yukon in the garage because there's too much silver in the way. How many want to have that problem? Baby, we can't even get a car in. You know, too many of them silver bars in the way. Everybody wins. Let's just say you're building a business and you're getting gold and silver a month, you win. If you're building a business, you're getting gold and silver every month, and you're helping, and the only way you're earning commission is because you're helping your team win, everybody wins. Yep. You can't say that about any. You got to understand what you have your hands on. And if you understand that, I have no hesitation talking to anybody about my business. Now, how do I have success? How do I get to the point that where I am right now, I can have success? And we're gonna bring you guys, a few of you guys up so you can share your testimony. If you want to have one of the most crucial things you got to have in order to be successful in network marketing, you got to have your why. And if you don't know what it is, you need to develop your why. Now, what's your why? They told us early on in network marketing, if your why don't make you cry, and if your why is not as big as the sky, then you need another why. They say you have to have a reason for doing it that's bigger than you. I marveled in my first network marketing company because I saw people walk the stage that were millionaires and six-figure earners. And it just blew me away because of the background they came from. I'm talking about busboys, dishwashers, folks that didn't finish high school, 8th grade education. I mean, homeless at times. But what I found to be true, that all of them they had a big enough reason why they had to get it done. They had a big enough reason why. And if you don't know, one of the first assignments you need to find out is to have a conversation with your mentor or whoever brought you on board, and you need to tell them what your reason why is. Because once you have that reason why, it'll cause you to get up early. It'll cause you to stay up late. It'll cause you to keep going when other folks say you're crazy and you should throw in the towel. But if you have a big enough reason why. My why, I have 5 children. A few of my children have autism. All right? I'm building this business so my children will never have to worry about anything again. So because I know my why, do you think one person saying no gonna stop me? Do you think 1,000 people saying no gonna stop me? All right? Some of you might want to bring home your spouse. Some of you might want to do something for your parents that done something for you all your life. Some of you might want to do something. I mean, you hate what you're doing in corporate, but whatever the case may be, you need to find your reason why. Because if your why don't make you cry, and if your why is not as big as the sky, you need another why. You have to have a reason for doing it that's bigger than you. If you want to know the formula for success, I mean, it cannot be about the money. Your why is what you're going to do once you get money as an issue out of the way. That's your why. And if some of you'll have success today when you discover what that is. I can promise you, everybody in here today, you don't know what your why is. That's why some of you are scrumming, and that's why you're dealing with whether or not you should quit. When you have your why, quitting is out of your vocabulary. Everybody understand that? You know, the bottom line is this here. So what do I need to do? I mean, once you establish that why, and we're going to hear some of you guys' testimony. Those of you that have the courage to come up in front of the room, just want to show you how to tell your testimony. Now, why is that important for you when you come involved in network marketing? And especially here at 7K Metals. Because they're creating an environment that's conducive to everybody winning. Once you know your why, and you get good at just telling your story, you're going to be amazed at how many people in your warm market list that will come on board because they know your story. All right? One of the books I would encourage you to get is a book called Start With Why by Simon Sinek. And that's S-I-N-E-K. Here's what he had to say. When it comes to business and people that already know, love, and trust you, he said, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. If you want to know how to go back to your warm market, some of you think you destroyed it already, I can promise you haven't. You know, if you want to know how to go back to some of the people you talked to in the beginning and have them at least take a look at it, just tell them why you're doing the business. Because when it comes to business and people that already know, love, and trust you, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. Okay? If they know, listen, I'm putting this in place because I want to bring my spouse home. She's tired of doing what she's doing. They will take a look at it because they know your why. I'm putting this in place so that my children will never have to worry about money again when they know what your why is. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. That's especially true. So when it comes to your warm market, you ain't got to come up with no script. Just tell them why you're doing the business. Why do you think it was a good thing to do? What's your reason for signing on the dotted line? People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. So what's your reason for doing the business? What's your reason for signing on the dotted line? Getting up early and staying up late and making it happen. If you know what your why is and you just get good at telling your story. See, in network marketing, you don't have to be great to be successful. What you need is a story. See, the reason why Dhana is having success because she has a story. Coleen Lee has a story. See, neither one of them had never made significant money in network marketing. Their stories is more impressive than folks like myself that's been in the industry before and make money. And that's why in the beginning, when you don't have a story, you get good at telling other folks' story. That's why you want to learn her story. That's why you want to learn Dawn Marie's story. You want to learn Dhana Nelson's story. You want to learn David's story. Because until you develop yours, tell other folks' story. But sooner or later, you need to be able to tell your story. All right? Why you sign on the dotted line. All right? So we're going to break for a little bit. All right, it's a quarter till. We're going to do a 10-minute break. We're going to come back, and we're going to hear a couple of stories. I mean, some of you that want it, and I understand. Let's give a hand clap in advance for those that's going to come up and tell their story. How many know that's a beautiful thing? And here's the reason why. Well, I think we've all seen the surveys that one of the greatest fears on the planet is public speaking. To get up in front of a room. And to borrow a line from Seinfeld, they fear that even more so, than death, okay? Like death is like fourth on the deal. The number one fear is public speaking, get up in front of a room. And Seinfeld said if that's the case, when you go to a funeral, the person doing the eulogy would rather be in the box. All right, let's break for 10 minutes and we're gonna come back up. We're gonna hear some stories and then we're gonna follow this training and we'll wrap everything up, okay?